Q&A live with myself, Leigh. This is our Combe Valley Campers sort of Ask Me Anything live Q&A on a Sunday evening. We do it generally between 8 and 9 p.m. on a Sunday. Normally our regular videos go out at about 6 p.m. on a Sunday, and we like to sort of catch up with you about 8 p.m. And here we are. I hope you are all doing well. Straight away we have James in. He says, "Evening, Leigh." Good evening, James. Nice to see you, my man. And kind of what a weekend it's been. A weekend for sport. You know, I'm not a big sporting guy, but you know, England and Great Britain have had some great results this weekend, haven't they? What with the football, and I believe with the Formula One, if people can confirm that. I believe Hamilton's just got himself a pole at Silverstone. So yeah, that's brilliant news. Obviously, I have my weekends doing family stuff. This weekend's been no different, so I have been missing out on a couple of those bits and pieces. But if you are here and you are live and you are watching, what we love for you guys to do is sort of get involved in the comments. Who you are, where you're from, what van you have. Are you converting it at the moment? Have you been away camping in it this weekend? Have you just got back from a weekend's worth of camping? What are you doing? What are you up to? It's always nice because normally I can just see your YouTube username and it doesn't normally show your name. So it's lovely to put a name to the avatar, so to speak. And again, for those who are just watching, have not seen this before, my name's Leigh. This is the Combe Valley Campers channel, and this is where we show you how to build your own camper vans. We have NJW says, "Hi from South Yorkshire." Good day, sir. Little known fact, I am actually a born Yorkshireman. I was born in Harrogate. So yeah, despite the accent, I am actually a born Yorkshireman. We have Urban Arc Overland. It says, "Hi matey, just home from Camper Jam, feel dead." Do you know what? I've literally just been going through my feed on the likes of Facebook and Instagram, and I saw that you were doing the rounds at Camper Jam as well. I hope you had a good time. Goggy is here. Motivate, he says, hey buddy, hey, how's it going? Warren is in. Warren, good evening, say. He says, "What up, boss? Doing bedtime with a tiddler." Good stuff. Carper Blue Fishing is in. Gary, Sussex, midway through a Renault Master. This is awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. What do you want to know? What questions have you got? What have you been up to? Like I said right at the top of the video, it looks like we've had a good weekend sporting wise. I haven't, like the Wimbledon was on the TV earlier. Have we got anybody left in Wimbledon that's worth talking about? But yeah, certainly a good weekend for the football and for the Formula One. That is awesome. So who's been out camping? Who has been out just for the weekend? The weather's been on and off down here in the sunny southeast. It's been, yeah, kind of on and off. And in terms of camper vanning stuff, we've not done a huge amount this weekend. We've been out and used the van. We went swimming earlier, and Dommy actually finished the sound deadening of the van. If you have watched the video, and hands up if you have watched the video, leave a little comment or emoji down in the comments. Yeah, actually turns out she did do all the sound deadening, but because we were filming and the back doors of the van were open, she forgot to actually do the back doors, which is so funny. Yeah, she actually forgot to do it, which is a bit of a shame. But yes, so let's get back to the comments. We have Carper Blue Fishing, Gary, Sussex, midway through a Renault Master. That is awesome. What sort of layout are you going for on the Renault Master? I always love to see and hear about people's different camper vans. Kevin Cartledge is in. Just purchased my T4. Congratulations there. What are your plans? James says, "When sound deadening, do you just go over the factory squares or try and remove them?" Right, so with the factory sound deadening, depending on which vehicle, depending on which age of vehicle, you have factory sound deadening squares. Actually, if you've seen the video, as it turns out, our T6.1, no sound deadening in the back at all. I know in T5s and T6s, you do have courtesy squares of sound deadening on the panels, which do a little something. But generally, James, we just go over them. It's difficult to remove them, and I believe if you were to try and remove the factory sound deadening panels, you may well do more harm than good, because you might be pressing on the panel from the outside and may cause an outward dent, and we don't want to do that. So yeah, and James says he's just watched it with a thumbs up, so thanks very much. Goggy's in again. He says, so I've been trying to get hold of a rib bed in Germany, but having no luck at all. Anyone have any idea in Germany? The only thing I would suggest is looking at camper van converters in your local area, if you have such a thing, and maybe getting in touch with those. I don't really know. We tried to help Goggy this week to try and find a rib dealer. Rib is a type of bed that goes in the back of sort of smaller camper vans like VWs and Transits. If those of you who don't know what we're on about. And Goggy here, he lives in Germany and he's been trying to find a dealer or a fitter for a rib bed. We spoke to our distributor of rib beds here in the UK and we couldn't find anything. We tried to get in touch with Rib or Scopima over in Europe, who are the main dealers or the distributors for, I guess, Europe. And they didn't want anything to do with us, effectively. We are one of their sellers, we are one of their fitters, but getting in touch with them was even more difficult than we thought. So, if you are in Germany or you are in Europe and you know, sorry, excuse me before I sit back a bit, and you do know if there's anywhere that you could find a rib bed in Europe, please let us know. Back to the Q&A. If you are watching and you do have a burning question regarding camper vans or camper van conversion, or you want to know about us, or you want to know about our latest project, or you want to know about the Combe Valley Campers YouTube channel, or there's products in the shop that you might want to ask questions about, because believe me, we get hundreds of phone calls a week with Q&As on, with questions on all sorts of camper van life, and this is one of the reasons why I do this. It's so that people out there can ask a question and get an instant answer almost as well. So yeah, please feel free. Gary, have you got any questions? That's Carper Blue Fishing. Have you got any questions about your camper van? Have you got any questions about our T6.1? We are here to ask the questions. And the thing is as well, whilst we're doing these, I do come on between 8 and 9 on a Friday evening. If it gets quiet, I normally shut them down early, but if you can keep the chat flowing, if you can keep things going, then it's really, really nice to sort of sit with you guys down for an hour. So I will put a quick question out there. I don't actually have one on me because it's been a bit of a rush tear after dinner, but what are you guys drinking this evening? Normally we have a bit of a thing up. What are you drinking? Be it a beer, a stout, a glass of wine, a cup of tea, a fizzy pop. What are you drinking? What are you drinking this evening? Warren's in, he says, those who are in, just say hi. There's another good one. Let's get the comment section moving. If you are in and you go down to type, find the emoji and you can give us a wave. Or failing that, if you're halfway through the video or if you want to help us out with the video, there should be some 3 dots somewhere up here or down here, depending on which phone and which app you're using. And if you can give the video a thumbs up, that is always super, super helpful. It got really, really busy last weekend, actually. We were we were in the back of the T6.1. Dommy was still doing the sound deadening. I was doing the live. It actually got quite involved. It was quite good fun. Goggy says he's got a sparkling water. That's pretty good. João Cunha says hello from Portugal. I apologise if I've just completely obliterated the pronunciation of your name. But yeah, hello from England. James says, also, with the Dead Easy, although it's cheaper, how much worse is it than the normal stuff? Would you say if you could afford it, would you buy the cheaper stuff or the expensive stuff, if that makes sense? Right, so James is talking about the Dead Easy range versus a regular deaden range. Now, if you can afford it, I would go ahead with using the thicker deaden product from Dodo. The reason Dodo brought out an alternative was because there were some competitors on the market thought they could have a slice of the pie in terms of sound deadening. Now, the market's open to everybody. However, once Dodo had got their hands on some of this alternative product, they realised, well, if people want this cheaper product, we could certainly make it. But we can make it, rather than it being cheap imports from overseas, we can make it to our standard quality, but make it slightly thinner. It'll still hold the same properties, but it will be a slightly lower price point at those on different budgets or those who are just trying to do a quick turnaround on a van. So I would say if you can afford it, I would go with the best you can afford. Yeah, I guess that would be the closing on that. Buy the best you can afford when it comes to sound deadening. If it is just the dead easy stuff, then not a problem at all. We're putting that stuff in the T6.1 and we're already extremely happy with it. But I would say if you can go, oh, I do apologise. If you can go with some of the thicker stuff, then please do that. And you won't have any regrets. But as I've said throughout all of the sound deadening videos I have done in the past, if you whatever you're putting in the vehicle over and above what is there of you know, what is put on at the factory, then you're going to really help with sound deadening and insulating your van. So yeah, Warren says he has a cuppa. I might go and make a cuppa. Actually, no, I'm going to stick around. I might ask my wife to make a cuppa. Let's see if that works. If you're watching Dommy, because sometimes she does watch in another room, a cup of tea would be lovely. Warren's back in. He says, what's your preferred pump location? In the fresh tank or out the fresh tank, and which brand would you recommend? Very good question. Which brands do we have? We have the Whale pumps, and then is it the Dometic is the other brand? I can't quite remember. Funnily enough, we have just had a comeback from a customer who has a Whale pump fitted, and it's the first time I've ever seen it on any pressure pump, for example. It was a Whale pump that was leaking. So whether that had been exposed to the cold and the cold had frozen the interior of the pump and then split it slightly, I don't know. But yeah, I've used all manner of pumps on different builds. The black ones, which I can't remember the brand of, the Whale ones. Oh, yeah, it's Whale. They're the blue pumps. I personally prefer, I mean, I guess it's down to your application. If you've just got a 5 to 10 litre tub of water within the van, then a small submersible 12-volt pump will do you perfectly adequate, because you're just sort of turning on a tap to fill up a kettle or rinse your hands or something. I guess there's a time and a place for all of these products. So a submersible 12-volt pump that's just supplying a little tap on your hob, you know, your hob sink unit, they're perfectly good. I personally prefer, if I'm doing water, you do water rather than just a courtesy sink, so to speak. So I would prefer an underslung tank, or at least an internal tank that's mounted properly, that you would have an exterior fill to, than I do an exterior pump, much for the reason I've just explained. If your pump does go down, then you can just replace it without having to tear out a whole water tank or your whole interior to get to a water pump. So yeah, that's what I'd say. Warren Goggy says, is there a max limit to the thickness of insulation for the roof of a T6? Yes, he's touched a point there that I have trouble saying insulation rather than insulation. I would say insulation. Is there a limit to the thickness on the insulation on the roof of a T6? I would suggest going with the deadener's fine, like the Dodo deaden is fine on the roof of a T6. And then I'd say go for a 5mm thermoliner on the roof of a T6. And then actually the new EcoFill, which is the Dead Easy recycled material fleece, I would suggest the Dead Easy EcoFill, because that's a 35mm fleece, and that will fit in the roof panels, so you could have sound deadening liner and then the thermal fleece within the headliner. Actually, it will be, what, let's say 40 or so millimeters thick. But because, oh my gosh, I do apologise, but because the it's slightly compressible, the fleece, then it'll be fine to put that up. This looks terrible, doesn't it? I've got a yawning fit on, and Warren said no yawning. No, you're right. This looks terrible. So yes, that's what I would say the thickest of the insulation you could put in the roof of a T5, T6, let's put it that way. Cool. So right now there are 19 of you watching, which is absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much. If I could ask, let's say, all of you to go and find the 3 dots on the screen somewhere, give that a click, and if you can give the video a thumbs up or a like, that would really, really help us. Because, and we've experienced it before, the more people who watch and the more people who get involved in the live, it gets spat out to more people who might be watching. I remember it must have been a couple of months ago, I think the live video hit the algorithm because within the last 5 or 10 minutes of the video, we got an influx of people watching, which was hilarious. And then I started getting all of these comments from randomers who I'd never known. They started talking about how bald I was and, you know, what do I do to wash my head at night and stuff like that. It was very bizarre. So, yes, James, you are keeping us up. No, it's been a funny, funny week this week. But, yeah, you keep talking about yawning. I'm only going to go bloody yawn again. Oh, my gosh. Ridiculous. Yes. Right, I should get on it, shouldn't I? Thank you so much, everybody, for the thumbs up. Let's go back to the beginning again. We're sort of 16 minutes in. If this is your first time watching this live, my name's Leigh. This is the Combe Valley Campers YouTube channel, and I am live to answer your questions about all things camper vans, camper conversions, maybe European travelling. Have you got any questions about travelling in Europe? We've travelled with our kids, with a dog. You know, are there any questions like that you would like to ask regarding travelling? But whilst you're here, let's get the chat alive. Whereabouts are you? Whereabouts you based? What I normally ask at the top of the conversation is, what's your name? Where are you from? What van have you got? Because normally I just see down one side of my screen here is just your avatar name. So, for example, we've got Silver Fox Builds. He's now changed it, so he's Warren Silver Fox Builds. But we've got Motivate. Who's that? Oh, it's Goggy. We know Goggy. There's James. He's done well to sort of leave his name in the avatar. But yes, this is a good opportunity for you, if you're watching, to come in, get in the comments, even if it's just giving a little thumbs up in the comments or in the a little wave in the comments. It's really, really nice for you to come in and just sort of say hi. Motivate, Goggy is back on. He says, I've also been told it's common that people miss out on insulating and sound deadening the cab. Why is that a thing? Just very quickly, Alex Ranulfi's in the chat. Hey, how's it going, my man? Nice to see you. So back to Goggy, says, why do people miss out insulating and sound deadening the cab? Why is that a thing? It's because you've got to take it apart. You've got to take it all apart. If you want to properly insulate and sound deaden a cab, you've got to take the A-pillar trims off. You've got to take the B-pillar trims off. To do that, you might have to take the seats out, but then you've got to take the seats out, and then you've got to take the handbrake off, and then you've got to get the cab mat out. If you want to do the doors properly, stripping down the doors of a T5, T6 is quite tough as well. You've got to kind of know what you're doing. We've actually covered that in a video. So yes, there are lots of reasons why. It's just, I think it's down to a time thing. We've done a cab strip out before. We've done a cab sound deadening video before. It's all in our YouTube videos. So if you want to do that, go ahead. Maybe one of you could drop it down in the link. I don't know if I can get on the comments here. Can I do this? No, hang on, let me add. No, I can start a poll. Oh, I can start a poll. Let's see, can I start? No, there we go. I could share something. Hang on, let's see what I could share. No, let's go back another day. Right, yes, we could enter a poll, couldn't we? What questions should we ask? Kevin Murphy says, is there a supplier that you would suggest for lightweight 15mm faced plywood? Who's the supplier we have used? Gosh. I want to say, oh gosh, what's the name? What I would say, actually, before we look at the suppliers, how much do you need, Kevin? Because the lightweight 15mm face plywood is super expensive per sheet. And it's also just as expensive to ship. You know, you might pay 150 quid for a sheet of 15mm faced plywood in an 8x4, and then they'll charge you 80 quid to ship one piece, or 80 quid to ship 10, maybe even more than that. What I will say is we have excess ply panels of 15mm ply. So maybe, Kevin, depending on what colour, shape, size you want, at Combe Valley Campers, we've actually got a stock of 15mm faced plywood if you fancied it. So what you could maybe do after this conversation is email us info@combevalleycampers.co.uk, and we can maybe send you a list of the Voringa ply we've got if it's only a small amount you need. Sorry, I can't. Moorland, their name came to me. Moorland is the supplier we have used for the lightweight face ply. But also, if you've got some camper converters near you, or maybe furniture manufacturers near you, it might be worth ringing them up and going, have you got a couple of sheets spare, or have you got some offcut spare? So yeah, give that a go as well. Warren, he says, motivate, it's well worth the effort for the cab. Yes, it is, absolutely. Adam Leek is in. Good evening, Adam. He says, just finished our T6 conversion with loads of help from your video. Cheers. You, Adam, are more than welcome, and I'm glad we could be of help. Do you know what? Doing this sort of stuff sometimes, and I'm going to sort of open up here, doing some of these, doing all of this stuff on YouTube, and putting yourself out there on YouTube where you're quite open to criticism or you're open to comments can be quite tough. We're very fortunate in that because we're only doing sort of how-to videos, we don't get a lot of criticism or backlash at Combe Valley Campers. However, sometimes on social media you'll see it, sometimes you will see it on YouTube. And sometimes, you know, that can hurt, but it chucks it all out the window when you get somebody like Adam on the chat and says, I've just finished my camper van with loads of help from your videos. And do you know what? A comment like that just sort of wipes the slate clean with any emotions you might have about, you know, any of the backlash or trolls or anything like that you get on YouTube and social media. And it's just wonderful, wonderful. So, Adam, to you, my thanks for not only watching our videos, but taking that information on board and, you know, being nice enough to give us a comment back. I really, really appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much. Kevin's come back and says 2 sheets would be plenty. Thanks. Right, well, we have about 15 sheets at the workshop, all in different colours and styles. So if you are within the area, please feel free to give us a shout or send us an email and we can give you a full list of that tomorrow. Warren says, at Kevin Murphy, stick it in Facebook Marketplace. You'll be stunned at what people are selling for a fraction of the price. Well, that's it as well. And Kevin, we're doing exactly the same. We got a job lot of this Voringa ply-in from effectively a camper conversion company that was shutting down. So we have a lot of stuff and we are selling it for half of the price that it would be, you know, direct from Moorland, for example. So yeah. John Sear is in. He says, howdy, good evening, John. Now, which is really lovely. If you tune into our lives more often than not, you'll notice there's a bit of a crowd. We have lots of people who are our regulars, and I could go through a couple here. One of them is John Sear for sure. One of them is Warren. It's through this and just communicating on social media that Warren and I are actually good friends now. Motivate, that's Goggy. Kevin, I think Kevin, are you fairly new, Kevin? I can't quite remember. But Alex is a regular, James is a regular, and it's really, really nice to see you all, and Urban Arc Overland as well. It's very lovely to see you all each week. And yeah, John normally gets the chit chat running as well. So John says he's drinking a green tea with lemon. Good stuff. I might even take you into the kitchen so I can make me a cup of tea. It's great, actually. So if you are here, you are watching, there is allegedly 23 people in the chat watching right now. Could you all do me a favour and maybe get down in the comments and just chuck a thumbs up? That would be super. If you've watched one of our videos, if you found some value in one of our videos in the past, you know, and you want to sort of say thanks, putting a little thumbs up or a wave on this video right now would be perfect. It would be the only thanks I'd need. Thank you so much. John, exactly, John. He says it's dead easy. It is dead easy. Again, if you're in here tonight because you might have watched our video, this is your first time to the channel, put your hand up as well. Alex says more dog. In fact, can I show you something? He is here. If I just spin this round right now, where is he? Is that going to work? Or is my phone... There we go. There is more dog. That is Ronnie. He has obviously had a very hard day today, doing a great deal of nothing. So, James says, what's the... hang on, NJW has put a thumbs up. Ryan has put a thumbs up as well. Ryan, it's good to see you. NJW, thanks for giving us the love. We really, really appreciate that. James says, what's the best alternative if you don't want to pay £150 a sheet? Find good stuff, not second hand, but there might be people on Facebook, like Warren said earlier. Maybe talk to suppliers like ourselves. What's the best alternative if you don't want to pay £150 a sheet? I guess it depends on the interior you are trying to achieve. If you want a full camper van build, do you know what? It doesn't really matter, because yes, there is a difference between the lightweight ply and the regular ply, obviously. But you'll notice more and more businesses are making interiors out of good quality plywood, be it birch plywood, whatever. But a lot of people are choosing to go with raw plywood that's maybe varnished or just CNC'd beautifully or made beautifully. There's the buffalo board as well, but that is obviously a more expensive option. But there are companies, much like anything else, there are companies selling cheaper versions of the face ply, for example. So yes, there's lots of things going on. Oh, we have Galaxy S24 in. I think that might be the phone username. However, they have just said, just bought an L2 2019 Combo. Now I need it lined and carpeted. Congratulations. That is very, very cool. We'd love to see some pictures over on our social media. The Combe Valley Campers social media is where you can send us the pictures of your project, and we will always put your pictures up, be it in the stories or in the post. I missed it very, very quickly. Gary Plumley says he's at the pub with a Coke. Good stuff, Gary. Have yourself a good evening. John Sear says you can laminate your own ply. You can. But there's a lot of people out there that may not have the same facilities. And laminating ply is quite tough. We have a cabinet maker next door, and even he has to use a neighbouring business so he can laminate. Warren's getting straight on it. He says £99 on Facebook per sheet in Swindon right now. Well, there you go. We are currently charging... I think we're charging 75, 80 quid for a sheet of lightweight ply at the workshop. It's not on Facebook, it's not on Instagram or, you know, on our website or anything, but we have something like 15 sheets of lightweight ply that we just need shot of, to be honest. So if you are interested and you are south of London or anywhere in the country, really, it's worth the travel for a good bargain. So, back in on the chat, let's set you up with a question. Where are you going this year? Where are you traveling to? Are you going to a festival? Are you doing Europe? Are you doing mainland UK, the North Coast 500? You doing the Irish coast? What are you doing this year for traveling? Let me know, please. That would be amazing. Goggy says, are there any tips for laminating the floor? I've got the roll, just don't want to mess it up. We've done a whole video. Do you mean laminate like laminate flooring that clicks together? Let me know. Warren says he's going to Wales this year. Where are you going this year, people? Oh no, he's just retracted his message. So maybe he's not going to Wales. Where are you going, people? Where are you going on holiday this year? We are going to Poland to go and see the family, and then we are going wherever the road takes us. We're going to use things like Park for Night and stuff like that to actually get out and go do real travelling, you know. Alex says, I was in North Germany the week before last. Whereabouts in North Germany? Or did we speak about that? I can't remember. John says, I'd appreciate some suggestions for places to visit / stay. Good stuff, actually. Yes, let's do that. If you could go camping anywhere tomorrow in the UK or otherwise, where would you go, everybody? Sorry, we just had an influx of comments then. John says, appreciate some suggestions. Yes, James says, if I ever got my T5 finished, I plan to come to Campus and Coffee and say hi. Well, thank you very much. That is in September. TJ, Games of Glory, can you name a character for an exit, please? I can't. I'm not a gamer. Can you name a character for an exit, please? Does anybody know what TJ Games of Glory is talking about? I'm afraid I can't help you there, Mama. Warren says Wales, Dorset, Cornwall, possibly Europe. Good stuff. Yeah, so we're fortunate. In fact, Warren and I and a few others, we went up to North Wales earlier in the year. We've already been down to Newquay as well. Yes, it's really cool. Motivate says it's a giant roll of wooden look, not the clicking type. Oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, we've done a floor laying video goggy in the past. So take a look at that and please, yeah, get yourself the right blades and take your time with it too. Alex says north of Bremen. Lovely. John Sear, speaking of Poland, have you seen the Auto Alex 2,500 mile trip in old BMWs to Poland? No, I haven't got around that. I've seen his social media sort of supporting that. But yes, they had that big car fest in Poland last weekend, this weekend. It looked epic. Maybe that's one we should make next year. What do you think? Warren says, Three Cliffs Blay in the Gower. It's incredible. Lovely. TJ Games of Glory says edit and says, I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry if you got confused. That's not a problem. How you doing, TJ? Nice to see you in here. Do you own a camper van? This is what I was saying earlier. Sometimes the live can pick up traction with the YouTube algorithm and things like that. And the live can get spat out and suggested to more and more people. So, yeah, that's where we like you commenting, leaving emojis, all sorts of stuff. It's really quite good. Ricardo, good evening. He says, hope you have a good journey, safe travelling. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. Yes. So, yeah, doing Poland and what Dommy and I did speak about was retracing the steps of our honeymoon that we did 13, 14 years ago. If I've said this story, let me know. But yes, we are looking... When we did our honeymoon, that was in Bully all those years ago. Our first night after leaving Poland was a booked camping night in Vienna. And then we went wherever the road took us. We ended up catching Vienna, Savona, Verona, Venice, Monaco, Saint-Tropez, all because we just went where the road took us. It was really quite good. Warren says, also a Holland campsite. The manager is apparently not, but it's incredible and worth waking with him. 3 miles of empty beach and the only access is through the campsite. Stunning. Nice. Adam Leake says the Euro Cup final if we get there. Amazing. Where is the Cup final? Hillen's not Holland. Where's the Cup final? Which venue? And would there be a campsite nearby? That would be brilliant. Warren says, edit. Sorry, Hill End campsite in the Gower, not Holland. Hill End campsite in the Gower. That might be worth a Google. Goggy says, I'll have a look. Cheers. I'm driving down to Greece at the end of July with an old schoolmate from London. Shout out Dave the Rave. Do you know what? That sounds like a school friend I would like to know. That's for sure. Cool. Right. So we are 34 minutes in. I hope you're all doing well. If you have just joined us, there are apparently 24 people in the chat. If you have just joined us, my name's Leigh. This is the Combe Valley Campers YouTube channel, and I'm doing a live this evening to all of our friends and followers and supporters regarding Q&A. If there's a question you have about camper conversion, camping, travelling, driving through Europe, etc., then please feel free to give us a shout. I don't know if you noticed, I thought there was something on the left there, and I did my Batman turn. I have got a killer neck muscle into my shoulder all the way down to here right now. And so I feel like the old Batman turning Yes, I'm hopefully going to get sorted on Tuesday morning. But yes, what an absolute pain that is. I feel like I'm constantly hunched over. Any suggestions for stretching out there? I will ask you lot. Right, I'm going to do a poll on... no, I don't know if I can sort that out in time. But what should we talk about? Do you want to talk about awnings? Do you want to talk about rooftop tents? Would you like to talk about batteries or solar or insulation and sound deadening? Next week, we are on the T6 Beginner's Guide videos. We are getting into ply paneling and the clips to put them in there. Now, who has got to that stage of sound deadening their van, building their van? Have you got to the ply? How did you fit it? And what did you cover it with? Did you carpet it or line it? I'd love to know. So, John Sear says, which is the best for sticking down the edge trim for the van floor? Glue, double-sided tape, etc. Edge trim for the floor? Which edge trim for the floor, my man? Are you talking about like aluminium channel? What edge trim? Oh, we've got a poll suggestion coming from Warren. I'm going to do it now. Let's see if I can add a poll. There we go. Right, I'm going to do this. Ask your community. This is a great one. Thank you, Warren. I'm going to credit this totally to him. Let's see if this works. Right, I'm writing a poll. Delete. Oh, hang on. That's a good one. Good one, Ron. Right. Start the poll. Start the poll. Start the poll. Delete. Come on. Start the poll. Start the poll. There we go. Right. There is a new poll in the bottom. There we go. The poll is, are you into lifted suspension or lowered suspension? We'll credit that all to Warren. Lifted or lowered suspension on your camper van? Let me know. That's going to be a great poll. It should have popped up now. Right. Goggy says, honestly, I love this live chat that you do. It really feels like a community and it absolutely has me not feeling alone in this. Thanks for doing what you do. Appreciate you and everyone on here. Oh, that's lovely. Well, you're more than welcome. We love doing the lives as well, actually, Goggy. John Sear says, the L-shaped stuff. I've bought some plastic L trim. Oh, okay. Yeah, some self-adhesive stuff, maybe some countersunk screws, depending what finishing you're after. But yeah, some self-adhesive tape, you know, the double-sided tape might work for you, my man. I would maybe need some more pictures to see where you're putting it. Kevin Murphy says, I'm having my pop-top fitted this month. I'll be getting the 4-way carpet and glue package from yourself once ready. Well, thank you very much, Kevin. That is very good of you. James says, when you fit carpet, do you remove the rubber around the windows and tuck the carpet in? Very good question. John Sear says, I hope you don't need us to dance with this poll. No, not this one. James says, when you fit the carpet, do you remove the rubber around the windows and tuck the carpet back in? It depends entirely. If we are fitting windows from scratch, then we would cut out the window shape, carpet the van, then bond the windows in. You know what I mean? We'd do it that way. If it's a van that's come to us with bonded windows, if we can remove the rubber U-channel trim round the window frame, then we'll carpet up to that and then pop the rubber trim back on, or we'll carpet round the metalwork and leave the rubber trim off. If the rubber U-trim doesn't come off, we'd trim underneath it. It just depends. It depends on vehicle per vehicle. I hope that helps. Let's see what the poll's doing. Let's see if I can actually see the results. There we go. Right. So we've got 14 people have voted in the poll. We have 57% lowered van and 43% lifted. That is unexpected. I thought more and more people would go for lifted, actually. Now it's 60-40. Hang on, let's get back to the comments. Oh my gosh, right, there we go. Gosh. Warren says, can't lower a transit minibus, but would love to. So now it's up, up, up. Nice one. Tim says, hi Leigh, just finished watching your latest video on sound deadening, etc. How comes you have a grab handle on the driver's side? How can I get one? That's a very good question. Maybe it's not something I've noticed before. Grab handle where? On the A pillar? I'd have to look at it. Kurt Steigers is here. Hi from Cockermouth, Cumbria. Good evening. Steigers? Nice to see you, Kurt. Goggy says, oh, did you find any of my rubber window trims, Leigh? Yes, I did. Remind me again tomorrow and we will definitely get those rubbers to you. CRWO Craig has given us a big thumbs up. Looking at lifting the Westie. Heard all sorts of problems with wear and tear of CVs. Any advice? Is the Westie a synchro or is it a two-wheel drive? I have a lift kit from Campervan Culture on my two-wheel drive and I'm fine. Mine's fine. It's not too high. It's not too low. I'm wearing some oversized rubber on the 16-inch wheels, which I am reducing. But unless you're going stupidly high, I don't think you'll have too many problems on the CVs. I've certainly not had any problems, and I've had my van lifted for 2 years now, and I've had no problems. And I've done thousands and thousands of miles. In fact, I've used my Type 25 daily, every day since Christmas. So that is what, 6-7 months now, nearly 8. I've used my van daily. I do 30 plus miles a day, plus weekend trips, plus traveling all over the country. I've done Wales this year. I've done Newquay this year. So that's another couple of thousand miles on top of my daily drive. No problems with the CV joints now or as yet, my man. Yeah, A-pillar into the cab. Do you know what, Tim? I hadn't noticed. I will have a look into it. Maybe it was a factory thing. Did you say it was on the driver's side? Yeah, do you know what? I'll have to have a look. Maybe they knew my wife would be driving it on the daily, which is why they just mounted a handle on the A-pillar on the driver's side. I really don't know, actually. There might have been an extra dealer option or something ticked in the box when it was at the point of ordering. Who knows? So yes, Kevin Murphy says, I love the look of a lifted mudder, but car parks can be tricky, so I went for lowered. John's here. So when is the big CVC reveal happening? Ooh, he says. It'll happen when it happens. I can't give any dates or promise anybody anything. It could be in 3 weeks' time. It could be on the 1st of January, for all I know at the moment. So, right, we have 18 votes. We've got 32 people watching. There is a vote going on right now, or a poll. If you're into camper vans, do you like them lifted or do you like them lowered? It would be brilliant. Right, so I will close. I'll give you 2 more minutes and I'll close that poll down. And I will, I've got a good option for another poll, which is really, really nice. Actually, it will get the people chatting. I think that'd be good. So we have 30 people in and watching. It is lovely, lovely, lovely to see you all this evening. We are at 8:45 on a Sunday evening. If you have just tuned in, my name's Leigh. This is Combe Valley Campers, and it is our Q&A. It is our Q&A Sunday. I'm here to answer your questions about all things camper vans. We like to build a community here, strike up a chit chat. It is good fun here on a Sunday. Right, so can you tell me the make of bed Ross put into his van? Into his T5, he has a full width Rusty Leigh bed, which we can supply and fit for you. He is getting a new bed for his new van, which is a crafter, but I won't reveal that until he does. John Sear says, you missed an option on the poll, standard. Nah, lifted or lowered. Goggy says, I've seen some T5s, T6s with a switch inside on the drive. Hang on. I've seen some T5s, T6s with a switch inside on the driver's side that locks and unlocks the doors. I don't have it in mine. Is it possible to install it myself, or is it something more complicated? That might well be a dealer option, or depends on the spec of the vehicle. Don't forget T5s, T6s came in like a start line, a trend line, a sport line. all sorts of stuff. So that might well have been an option that you weren't given. Right, so we've had 20 votes on the lifted and lowered. That is lowered win by 65% and lifted with 35%, ending that poll right there. I'm going to get you on a new one. Oh, hang on, here we go. Some more comments. I will go straight back to the comments. Colin Hill, good evening, Colin. He says lowered on B14's comforts. Nice, good stuff. Yes. 1147. One Nicola. What it was his new craft that I was interested in. So yes, he has decided on a bed. It is a lovely thing. I will leave him to reveal it. I can't tell you it just yet. Oh, there we go. It's even put the results on the poll up. Brilliant. Craig says Owen for lowered. Splash is in, says hello. Good evening, Splash. Craig Clement says, but probably not great for Scottish campsites and roads. No, not at all. Philip is replying to Goggy, says, easy to do yourself, aftermarket, search on the T6 forum. See, that's why we're doing this, because there is people like Kurian? Please tell me I'm getting that right. Kurian Philip. He says it's easy to do yourself aftermarket search on the T5, T6 forum. That is brilliant, and that's why we have these live sessions, because the community comes together and helps out. That is brilliant. I'm going to do another poll very, very quickly. Let's have a look. Favorite. I'm going to reword that. So in the meantime, what are you guys drinking? It's a Sunday evening. What are you guys drinking this evening? I don't have anything on me right now. Are you drinking a Coke? Are you drinking a tea? Are you drinking a beer, a spirit, a wine? I would love to know. Leave a comment down below whilst I'm typing this poll while live. It doesn't help whilst doing it on my phone, does it? So... add an option or... Right, I have put a new poll up. There we go. Has that worked? Yes. I'm asking you, what is your preferred style of camping? There we go. Goggy says, oh, hang on. Kieran says, yes, you got it right. Oh, brilliant. That's good. James says, what about the other 2%? Do you know what? I didn't even figure that out. Goggy says, gosh, look at this. We've got 34 people in the chat. It's lovely to see you all. Motivate says, cheers at Kieran. You guys rock. Yes, you do. 11471. Nicholas says, Pepsi. Pepsi. Nikki is her name. Brilliant. Thank you, Nikki. John here says green tea with lemon. Very nice too. Michael King's got a beer on. Tim's got a Vimto. Bickety or Bikety says, hi, can you give any advice on the rear quarter interior panel over the wheel arch? There are holes on one of the sides, but nothing in the van to clip them into so the panel doesn't align correctly. Right. Bikety or Bickety, I know exactly what you were talking about. So if you are fitting, if you're in a T5, T6 and you're trying to fit the long side panel to the sides of the van, down the A, B, C pillars, one side is the closing side of the sliding door, the other one is the pillar behind the window. You are right, in 99% of cases there is nothing to clip that on. That there are two options you can do there. You can put a metal right angle bracket in there and you can rivet or screw a bracket into that piece of wood, into that piece of metal. So your ply panel now has something to hold up against, and then you can drill a hole in that right angle bracket, for example, to fit a trim clip, much like you have fitted all the way around the rest of the panel. That is option number one. Option number two is screwing a suitable size batten of wood against that piece of metal. Again, just positioned so that your piece of ply can sit flush against it, nice. And then you can screw the ply panel to that batten, sort of disregarding those trim holes that you might have made. If you are planning on carpeting that panel, you can then affix screws through the carpet in an invisible manner. If you'd like me to tell you how to do that, leave a further comment down below. Wow, look at that. We've got 20 votes in the latest poll. Sorry, before that though, James says drinking tea. Casper the friendly cooking apple, rain free, good stuff. 11471 wood. What would you do? So the poll is at 20 votes, and if you are not involved in the poll so far, bearing in mind there's 31 of you, so you could quite easily get on the poll. It was, what is your preferred style of camping? Off-grid, campsites, or festivals and shows? So yeah, get on that poll. We have got 22 of you have voted so far. Only 3 minutes ago. What's your preferred style of camping? Off-grid campsites or festivals and shows? Let me go down. Hang on. If I close that, close that, close that. Some guy is in. He says, evening. Good evening, some guy. Nice to see you. Nice to have you and on the chat. Bikety or Bikety says, thank you. You are more than welcome, my man. Right, we have 31 to 28 people. The numbers keep sort of flicking up and down. If you're in here and you haven't as yet given this live stream a thumbs up, I would love you forever if you could do that. Now, if you have a look in either one of these two top corners or even in the bottom left or right corner, there is 3 dots. And if you click on those 3 dots, it should give you a thumbs up, which means you have liked or loved this video. If you would be good enough to give that a thumbs up, bearing in mind there are now 32 of you in and watching, I would absolutely love you forever for doing that. And only do that, obviously, if you found tonight entertaining, if you found tonight valuable with the information, or you're just enjoying the community that is growing here every week, which is lovely. And whilst you're there clicking on things, please feel free to have a look at the poll. So far, there are 23 votes, and I've asked you lot, what's your preferred style of camping? Is it festivals, is it campsites, or is it off-grid? Now, where are we? Tim says, what do you think of power banks for the van, i.e. EcoFlows, instead of the wiring option? I think they are brilliant, personally. They are not for everyone, but they are a brilliant, brilliant option. Now, we are getting more into the likes of, what's the name I'm thinking of? Oh my gosh, what is the name I'm thinking of? Black Box, Transporter HQ, sell it. I can't think of the name. But basically, it's like a power bank, but it's not designed to be removable. It's designed to be static. Clayton, that's the one I'm thinking of. Clayton boxes. Urban Archive Land is a huge advocate for them as well, and he's done some fantastic videos on those too. I think they are brilliant because rather than having separate elements for an MPPT controller for your solar panel, a DC to DC charger for your smart system, an inverter, plug sockets, USB sockets, etc., etc., etc. They build them all into one box. So all you need to do is plug in a live and a ground from your split charge, and then a live and a ground to your fuse panel, and you're done. Or you feed in your solar panel, or you feed in your 240 volt, and it all happens in this little box. I think they're brilliant, brilliant pieces of kit, personally. Ross says, it's me. Hi, Ross. How are you doing? Ross says, did I miss what you said to Nicola about beds? Yes. Basically, she asked about your bed option, because obviously people have been seeing your crafter on the social medias and asked what bed you've chosen for. And I said, I'm not going to reveal that until you're ready to reveal it on the social media or in public. So you did miss what I said, but I didn't say a lot. Right, 25 votes in on the poll. Give me a hands up in the comments if you want to see the results, or you can probably see the results already, can't you? John Sear, in the meantime, has said, what is your preferred style of camping? I love hitting the open road and finding... Do you know what? I will say 50% off-grid, 50% campsites, because off-grid is brilliant, and I friggin' love just getting out there and parking up. However, I really like, especially with my situation at the moment, or my circumstances with the dog and the kids, I really like going on things like the Park for Night app and finding beautiful random campsites that have been run by the same couple for 50 years, or campsites with a really sweet swimming pool for my kids. My wife prefers campsites, so it makes my life happier because she's on a campsite which she enjoys as well. So if it was just me, raw dogging it all the time, I'd be off grid for 99.9% of the time. In my current situation, I love good campsites. But for me, the best part of camping and traveling is the traveling in between. I love traveling. I love seeing the sights. I love seeing new places, meeting new people. I guess the camping is a lot of it. But I love a good, cute, unheard of, off the beaten track campsite, but I also love being off grid. So it's kind of the best of both. Ross says Clayton, yes. Colin Hill probably said Clayton as well once it sprung into my mind. What do people normally check on the campers before going on a big tour? Preventative maintenance, preventative maintenance, preventative maintenance. Get your servicing done, oils done, check your tyres, check your brakes, check your screen wash, check all your connections, take spare fuses, take appropriate tools like torque wrenches and Allen key sets and maybe some wiring stuff, etc., etc. Even John says there, yeah, check everything twice. Brilliant. Warren's just come in and said, I've just heard if you unclick like and re-click the like button, or unclick the like and then re-click the like button, it also boosts the algorithm. Whatever you feel, raw dog. Ross says, haha, pics will be up on the 22nd. There you go. So who was asking about the beds? Nicola, yes. By the 22nd of this month, Ross will be revealing the bed he has got. We are 56 minutes in. This has gone so fast today. Gosh. John Sear says, have you seen the increase in campsites that provide wild pitches? No, I haven't. I think that's what I love about things like Campers and Coffee, which is what we do. Because it's kind of like a campsite, but it kind of feels like you're raw dogging it as well. It's a campsite with no facilities, really, but it's a really nice community. I love that sort of thing. We've made Campers and Coffee the sort of thing we'd like to do, I guess. So, yes, a nice place for people to be. But yeah, not all the facilities, so to speak. Kieran has said, check before a big trip, just that there is enough food in the fridge and snacks in the cupboard. Oh, and don't forget the alcohol as well. Not that I'm a big drinker, but it's nice to sit down once you've put your rig up, you've put your campsite up, your awning, the kids are in bed chilling, and you crack open that bottle of beer or that nice glass of wine. Absolutely. And then Kieran has said, vehicle, just ensure that you're on top of your servicing schedule. Exactly that. Who asked the question? Goggy. So we've now driven Bully around Europe, let's call it a dozen times. And touch wood, he has not let us down. We've not had to get a recovery truck anywhere. He's always brought us home. He's had troubles along the way, but we've never had to have a recovery vehicle. And he's always brought us home. More so than the 2K did, but that's another story. And that's because I've been over that van twice, 3 times. I've undone every nut and bolt and washer on that van. Check on the oils, check on the belts, check everything for a big trip. All right. Right, I'm going to close the last poll. That was 26 votes. Where are we? 26 votes. So, in terms of preferred style of camping, campsites 50%, off-grid 42%, festivals and shows 7%. Brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody. Sounds like the perfect camp experience you want. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You know what, as a family, we work hard at our camping, and we do a lot of research. Even if we are just going from campsite to campsite, day to day, we look at reviews. My wife is quite strict on the type of campsite she goes to. It's got to have good ablutions, and that's kind of the only standard. We don't care if it's got entertainment. We don't care if there's fresh baguettes in the morning. It's got to have good ablutions, and it's just got to be a nice place to be. So yes, it's really good to get a good campsite. Oh, good evening. Did you want to come in and chip in?
No, don't light on.
You could turn the light on. I've just realised it's getting quite dark. That's Dommy, by the way. Did you want to say hi real quick, Dom? Come in and say hi. Where are you? She is doing some extra sound deadening today. Because if
he forgot.
Because if you saw by the video, she did actually forget to do the barn doors on the van, which is quite funny. Right, let's get to the last ones. We are at 59 minutes. Technically, we have only a minute left, but I'm sure we can play it a little bit longer. Is Ross on Instagram? Yes, Ross is on Instagram. Ross, if you are still watching, leave it down below. I believe it's the Blue Machine. He was the Green Machine, but if you look in our social media on Combe Valley Campers, on Facebook, Instagram, one of our latest posts has Ross's van, and it will share Ross's Instagram handle on that too. So Nicola, if you want to, then please feel free. John Sear says, hi Dom. Motivate says, hey the missus. Tim says, hi Dom. Warren says, love campfires and a sight too. Yes, absolutely. Warren also says, hi Dom. And Ross is in and says, @_blue_machine. So there we are. And there we have it. Right, 29 of you with 26 thumbs up. I would love for you all, before I head out tonight, if you've had fun tonight, if you've learned anything tonight, if you've enjoyed being part of the community tonight, I would love you to have a look in either one of these corners, find 3 dots, and if you find the 3 dots, click on those and give us a thumbs up. I would love you guys forever. It's just a little, I mean, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything but a second. It would be lovely if you could do that for us. It just makes all these Sunday evenings worthwhile, not only to see you guys, but you know, it helps with our videos, it helps boost them, etc., etc. as well. So there we go. So before we go, we're at 60 minutes. I'm over what I would normally do. But before I go, what are you planning to do on your van this week, if anything? Leave it down below in the comments really, really quickly. Have you got any plans this week for your van, or what are you buying this week for your van? Or what have you got planned for the next weekend? Are you going away this weekend at all? Goggy says, have you thrown the boomerang yet? No, I haven't, actually. Goggy made me a lovely boomerang with CVC on it. Going back up through the comments. Yes, so we did 26 votes on the poll. Campsites 50%, off-grid 42, and festivals and shows 7. I know that doesn't make... that doesn't make 100%. There's a missing 1% there. Right, there we go. Tim says, thanks for your great advice, Leigh. Cheers. Till next time. No worries, Tim. Thank you for tuning in today. Colin Hill says, new floor. Nice work. CRWO says, roller painting if it stops raining. Brilliant. I roller painted our van Bully 13 years ago and he still looks all right. Warren says, drive the bloody thing. Motivate says, curtains. I just watched your curtain video. Should be an easy one. Good stuff. Casper, the friendly cooking app, says, putting new lights in. Brilliant. Biker says, we've just been putting Dodo, Duo, Deaden in, and next is the floor. Just ordered some extra clips from Combe Valley for the ceiling. Nice work. John Sear says, finishing carpeting the barn door panels. Nice work. Russ104 says, this week, take the T4 to the garage to find out which rusty bits are cosmetic and which would be an MOT fail. Brilliant stuff. Wonderful, everybody. Thank you so much. This has been another blinder. It just makes an hour go so quickly, and it's lovely to see all of you. So I will give it till 63 minutes and then I will sign off. So that gives us 45 minutes to say goodbye. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. This week we have a busy one. We are continuing the painting on our building. I don't think I've told you guys what's going on yet, but there's lots going on. It'll all be revealed fairly shortly. So yes, lots of stuff going on in the workshop. We've got a very busy workshop in terms of work, and lots of stuff going on in the shop as well. So if you don't follow us on social media, for one, I don't blame you, because I follow a lot of YouTubers and don't follow them on Instagram. But I promise you, a lot of our stuff, if not more than YouTube, goes up on Instagram. So if you want to see what we're up to, please head over to Instagram, Combe Valley Campus over there, and go and follow us. You will see all the updates on our shop, the workshop, and what we're doing as well. So Andy Cam TV Productions, one of the last to say goodnight. Tim says cheers. Kurt Steiger says keep up the good work. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. I will see you next Sunday. Bye-bye now. If I can shut it down. There we go. All right. Good night, guys. It's still not live. Still not. There we go. There we go. Bye-bye.